Hey boys and girls, welcome back to MiMi's Fun Time. Today I'm going to read you the Three Little Dinosaurs. It's kind of like the Three Little Pigs. These dinosaurs are brothers. They like to play video games, shoot hoops, and read comic books. But one day their mother told them it was time for them to venture out into the world and get their own place. So they still stay in touch with each other. But let's get on to the book and it will tell you what they're going to be doing. All right, come on, sit down. Let's go. The Three Little Dinosaurs. Once upon a time, in a thick, steamy jungle, there lived three little dinosaurs. One day, their mother called the little dinos in. "It is time you went out into the world and made it on your own," she said. "But be careful of the big, bad Tyrannosaurus Rex, or he will make dino burgers out of you." The three dinosaurs giggled. "Right," they said, and they headed out into the jungle. The first little dinosaur wasn't into heavy construction work. He had better things to do. So he gathered some dry grass and quickly heaped it up into the shape of a house. "This will do nicely," he said. He grabbed some snacks, plugged in his favorite video game, and plopped down in his comfy chair. But before he could blow up the first alien ship, he heard a heavy thump, thump, thump coming up to his house. Who could that be? He wondered. Maybe it's the pizza delivery man. But it wasn't the pizza delivery man. It was the Tyrannosaurus Rex. He smelled the little dino inside the straw hut, and his mouth watered. Little pig, let me come in," he growled. "No way, Jose," the first little dino shouted back. "And don't call me a pig, I'm a dinosaur." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," yelled the Rex. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew the little grass hut to smithereens. But in the confusion, the first little dino snuck out and ran off to find his brothers. The second little dino trudged through the hot jungle until he came to a stegosaur sitting in a mud hole. "What's happening?" asked the second little dinosaur. "Making bricks," replied the stegosaur. "Mind if I have a few to build a house with?" asked the second little dino. "Sure," the steg said, "but you must let them dry for several days under the hot sun before they will be ready." "Thanks," cried the second little dino, and off he went with his mud bricks. But the second little dino did not wait to dry the bricks. Instead, he went right ahead and stacked them up into the little house. No sooner had he finished than the first little dino came running up. "No problem," the second little dino said after his brother told him about the Rex. "You can move in with me." But the Rex had followed the first little dino to the mud brick house. He banged on the door. Little pigs, let me come in," shouted the Rex. And he thought, "I'll make a double cheeseburger out of them." Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, called out the second little dino. Besides, you didn't say please. And stop calling us pigs, shouted the first little dino. The Rex grinned a sharp, toothy grin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. But he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew, and the little house would not budge. Then he noticed the bricks were not quite dry. Oh, he sighed, and he went and gathered some buckets of water. The Rex climbed up on top of the little house and started pouring water on the roof. At first, the house began to sag. Then it drooped and dripped until finally the soggy little house melted into a puddle of mud. The Rex grabbed up the little dinos, but they were covered in wet, slimy mud, and they slipped out of the Rex's fingers and dashed into the forest. I'll let those little pigs, I'll get them, and I'll get them good. As he growled, and he set off to follow their muddy trail. Meanwhile, the third little dino hopped through the tall vine-covered trees until he came to an extinct volcano. The big rocks and boulders gave him an idea. Working very hard, he used the huge boulders to build the foundation of the smaller rocks to build the walls of his house. It was a very large and beautiful house, which was good because no sooner had he finished putting on the door hinges than his two brothers came running up, panting and dripping with mud. "Can we stay with you?" they squealed between breaths. "You bet," he said. But the Rex was not far behind. Little pigs, let me come in," he called. "Hey, Rex, you really need a new opening line," called back the second little dino. "And stop calling us pigs," shouted the first little dino. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," shouted back the Rex. "I'm so scared," laughed the third little dino. "You can't blow a rock house down. It's your bad breath that has me worried. Don't you ever brush?" This, of course, made the Rex very mad. So he huffed his very biggest huff, and he puffed his biggest puff, and he blew till his tongue hung down to his chin. But nothing happened. So he brought his buckets of water, and he poured and poured and poured some more. But he could not melt the house either. Excuse me. But the Rex wouldn't give up. Every night he sat up in his house long after bedtime and thought about how to get those three little dinos. Now, Rex had a brain the size of a peanut, so it took him not days, not months, but years. Till one night, he finally thought of the answer. "This is brilliant," he shouted. He could just taste those piggy burgers with mustard and melted cheese. The next day, Rex found a long pole and placed it carefully under a giant boulder on the peak of a tall mountain above the rock house. Then he pulled and he tugged, and finally he jumped on the end of the pole. The huge rock tilted over and began to roll. Faster and faster it rolled down the side of the mountain, through the forest, across a creek, and then smash! Right into the rock house. "I've done it! I've done it!" he cried. And he raced down to what was left of the third dino's house to get a triple deluxe burger for lunch. But the three little dinos weren't there. "Now where could those little porkers be?" he muttered. He was busily looking for them under every rock and didn't notice somebody walk up behind him. "Who is going to pay for this?" Excuse me, demanded a gruff voice. "I hope you've got insurance, Buster. And stop calling us pigs," added another deeper voice. "It's a good thing we were outside," drawled a third voice. "You could have hurt somebody, fella." The Rex grinned wickedly and turned around quickly to grab the little dinos before they could get away. But he found himself eye to eye with a rather round belly. While Rex had been trying to figure out how to get into the rock house, the little dinos had grown up and up and up. Rex looked up at the three great big dinos and turned very pale. "Ah, sorry about the house," he squeaked. I just remembered. I got a dentist appointment. Yeah, that's it. A dentist appointment." Then he turned and ran as fast as he could and didn't slow down till he was far, far away. So the three brothers built new houses and lived happily ever after. And they never saw hide nor hair of Rex again, because he has taken up a quiet, more peaceful life. He's gone fishing. How cute is that? The end. Well, thank you for joining me for this book. It was quite a funny little one. Well, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Tell all your friends to join me on a Saturday on a video. And yeah, you just never know what other book I will be reading. So I will catch you next time. And I hope y'all have a great day, or morning, or night. And I love every one of you. Bye-bye.